On Friday, I was in the West End on business, and as I had arrived an hour early, I decided a coffee and sandwich would fill the time quite well. I found a nice pavement cafe, ordered my food and drinks and seated myself outside in the sunshine, quite rare in London, and began to enjoy my meal. I then realized I was sitting opposite a smart and very expensive beauty salon, and it was in full swing with many clients coming and going. This was the kind of beauty salon where only the very rich could afford to be styled and beautified. Almost in the middle of the large front window was a caped lady with the most perfect and tightest roller set I had ever seen. The rollers were a mixture of medium, smaller and even some pin curls, but what was most striking was the precision of the setting in perfect rows. So perfectly beautiful and oh so feminine. I could feel the first stirrings of excitement just looking at her from a distance. I assumed she had just been taken out of the hairdryer and was being prepared for her comb out. Two very smart beauticians in light blue uniforms were standing beside the lady getting some bits and pieces ready. As I munched my sandwich, the beauticians began removing the rollers very carefully and placing them in a tray until the lady, I could not see her face, just had the formed tight curls of hair without the rollers, which to my eyes is almost the most fabulous part of the hairdressing process. But God, I did hate to see the curlers go. She looked so beautiful with them in. Soon the curls were being brushed out and steadily backcombed and teased up into enormous height and volume. A very large Bouffant hairdo in the making for sure. The senior beautician then took over the comb and began to again vigorously backcomb it so fast her hand was a blur. The other young lady assistant sprayed almost continuously into the backcombed hair. The older beautician teasing and the younger one spraying continuously. Very soon I could see the huge ultra-feminine bouffant being formed as they created it. It began to become larger and smoother before my very eyes. This was a real treat and a great surprise in this modern era of cut and blow-dry at knockoff beauty salons. Some parts of the bouffant were being picked and lifted with her rat-tail comb, and the bottom was fluffed out to form a very cute bouffant flip and teased back up into the bouffant. As the beautician was nearing completion, the senior older woman took over the spraying while the junior attached a face mask to the lady to protect her visage from the ever-increasing amounts of hair lacquer spray, lacquering the hairdo into place. Such a beautiful feminine sight this was. All that glorious hair, now stiff and teased up and lacquered into place. A truly glamorous lady with a beautiful new hairdo. It was approaching the time of my meeting, so I had to go, but I just had time to cross over the pavement for a final closer look into the beauty salon. The lady was being helped out of her cape into her feet, but I was staggered when I took a long look through the window that her coiffure was a perfect 1960s full bouffant bubble, and even the faint outline of the roller setting was visible in her hairstyle. The bouffant was huge, one of the highest and biggest I'd ever seen, round and very even apart from the very feminine flip with the outer hair almost a shell, and appeared rock hard with multiple applications of lacquer. The elegant lady was escorted back into the heart of the beauty shop. The perfect ultra-feminine glamorous woman. This was joy indeed, and I went to my meeting with a spring in my step. I had extreme difficulty controlling my hard-on and hoped nobody would notice my embarrassing predicament. A tight curler set and extreme bouffanting always does this to me. It's sort of the best of many feminine processes to become a beautiful seductive lady. The meeting only lasted 2 hours and I had difficulty keeping my mind on business, and my thoughts kept going back to the beauty shop and what was happening to the very elegant glamorous ladies that frequented the establishment. When I left, I made my way back to the beauty salon just in case somebody else was experiencing a roller setting or hopefully another comb out. Could I be that lucky to catch 2 women in one day being beautified? The shop was again pretty busy, and there was no sign of the elegantly bouffant lady I'd seen previously. There were no other roller sets being carried out. I was heartbroken. I decided to go to my next business appointment. Just at that moment, the elegant lady with the fabulous bouffant appeared at the beauty salon counter to, I assume, settle her pretty hefty bill for her salon visit. It was now quite obvious, since I was closer to the salon, that while my business meeting was going on, the beauty shop has also carried out a full and very extensive makeup job on her as well. I could see she was not in the first flush of youth, but looked as though she was at least in her middle or late 60s. But in spite of her age, she was very beautiful, all made up like that. Her makeup was very heavily but perfectly applied with great attention to detail. It was quite clear that she was wearing long, thick black false eyelashes with massive amounts of mascara and eyeliner over the light tan foundation and powder. Her cheekbones were perfectly accentuated with several shades of blusher, but all perfectly blended together, creating two bright red shaded streaks across her cheeks. It looks stunning. To finish off her makeup, her lips were painted in a darkish red well over her thinning lip line, but again with fantastic precision. This made her gorgeous lipstick lips look fully, bigger, and certainly more sensual. There was the unmistakable sign of application of an even darker lip pencil outlining her lips. But it was so perfectly drawn and it blended into her lipstick perfectly. The cosmetician who'd done this makeup was obviously a very experienced professional and an expert at heavy makeup. Her eyebrows were in a brown pencil and again superbly drawn into the classic feminine arched shape. Hers were a little more extreme in the arch than normal, but it only made her look that much more sexy. In the daylight, her wonderful bouffant looked even bigger and better than when I had first observed it through the window of the shop, and the obviously peroxide blonde color was just perfect for her makeup and coloring. She was a dream woman come true. Expensively applied highlights and even some lowlights had been added to her wonderful coiffure. She was my idea of the perfect glamorous woman, a truly elegant lady of high society. She was wearing a Chanel-type suit with the skirt just on her knee with tan stockings or tights and the most fabulous black stiletto spike high heels with very extremely pointed toes which looked about 5 inches high. At her advanced years she managed the heels very well, and she entered her Bentley in an extremely elegant manner. It has been a long time since I have seen such a vision of elderly artificial femininity in the real world apart from photos, and to say the least it made my day an understatement. Now you may ask why all this roller sets and bouffanting and makeup excited me so. Well, the answer is simple. I not only was totally in love with her feminine beauty and what could be accomplished at her age with makeup and expert hairstyling, but I wished I could look just like her. I wanted it to be me sitting right next to her getting my hair set and then teased up. I wanted it to be me wearing all that gorgeous makeup. I wanted to be sitting right next to her in the salon being done up and then exiting to the Bentley with her for a night supremely joyous feminine lovemaking.